So in a history class, I really like digitally designing stuff. When we're here in a normal school year in my classroom doing projects, I have my students do a lot of digital design because we can create some really professional looking stuff that looks spectacular. Now, personally, I use stuff like Photoshop and some really sweet programs that let me do some advanced graphics. Because most of you are at home and are using Chromebooks and things like that, you don't have access necessarily to those programs. But there is one program in particular that you all have access to that if you use it for projects for all kinds of classes, doesn't matter whether it's my class or language arts or science, when you're putting together a science fair project, you could use this program to do all of your displays for it. It's really easy, it's really simple. It's called Google Drawings. Now, if you've had me as a teacher before, if you're in my advanced 8th grade class right now, half of you have had me as a teacher. You know how to use the program that I'm talking about. But most of you watching this don't know how to use it or have never had me before. Half of my 8th graders have never had me, and all of my current 7th graders have never had my class before. So I'm going to show you how to use this very simple program that all of you have free access to, and hopefully it's going to make your life a lot easier for all your other classes. This is how you use Google Drawings. First, make sure you're signed into Google with your student account, and then pull up a Google page. As always, I really like using Google Chrome. I don't really like Firefox and the other browsers so much, although this works okay with the other browsers. It works best with Google Chrome. And what I'm going to do is, to access the program, I'm just going to type in drawings.google.com. So just like this, and yes, the letter S is at the end of the word drawing there, so drawings.google.com, and click enter. And it opens up a brand new blank page, automatic for me. This is something where I can just start creating right now. Now, if you're at home and you're creating this to submit electronically for teachers, you can just start designing on this right now. But if you're going to print this on a sheet of paper, the first thing you want to do is change the size of this to where it matches the size of the paper that you're going to be printing. Okay, so if you're going to be printing this, you probably want to do this first. You go to File, and you scroll down to Page Setup. And you're going to switch this from Standard to Custom. And now you can determine the number of inches each side of this sheet of paper is going to be. A regular sheet of paper is 8.5 by 11. Of course, if you turn it sideways like that, then it's going to be 11 by 8.5. So I'm going to resize this to 11 by 8.5. And if I want it turned the other way, then all I would have to do is just reverse those numbers. Okay, and click Apply. Now this is the exact same size as a normal sheet of paper, so if I go to print this thing, it's going to fill the entire sheet of paper. Again, if you're just doing stuff and submitting it electronically, you probably don't need to resize, but that's just to let you know. Everything else on this program, at least the basics of using this program, is accessible by using the Insert button. So from this button right here, I can insert images. I can insert text boxes, although I'm not as crazy about text boxes. I prefer something called word art. You can insert shapes and tables and charts and diagrams, word art and lines and things like that, and really make it look professional, believe it or not. You can also mess with fonts and things like that, and I'm going to show you all of those things today. All right, so let's say I want to design something from scratch, and maybe I want to do a poster that displays how Vikings actually looked, because a lot of people think Vikings had horned helmets. They actually didn't. So let's design something that shows what Vikings really looked like instead of what they typically look like in a Hollywood movie or something, How to Train Your Dragons. So let's do something like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a background picture. I'm going to add a title, a couple of pictures, and maybe an explanation or two. We're just going to keep this super simple, okay? Now, yes, you can go insert image and then upload from either your computer, or you can go search the web. Personally, I like finding images through Google search. So I'm going to open up a new tab. And first thing I'm going to work with is the background. So maybe I want a really dark background. So I'm going to type in dark Viking background. All right, switch to images. Hopefully you guys know how to do these basics. If not, play around with it. And then I'm going to scroll down until I find something that I really like. Actually, I kind of like that. It's dark. It doesn't have an image on it already. That works. So you click on the actual image. And then once you've clicked on the image, you click on it again, drag it over, and then release it on the page. And of course, we're going to have to match this corner to corner. So I'm going to drag out the corners and then maybe drag the bottom a little bit. Yeah, it's going to lose its aspect ratio, but that's fine. There's my background. And you know what? That looks pretty good to me. I'm happy with that. Yeah. So there's my background. Now I'm going to add a title to this, and titles are really easy. Most students love to use text boxes for titles. Those are dull, they are boring. I much prefer word art, and here's why. I can mess with it a lot more. So maybe I want to insert word art, and I'm going to type in my title, which is going to be Vikings. In this case, I'll make it all caps, and then I hit enter. There's my title so far, and yeah, that looks lame. I need to mess with it a little bit. So when I click on this, it will pull up this menu here where I can change the font, I can change the fill color, and I can change the outline color of the word. I can also mess with other formatting things here, and you can experiment with this a little bit. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the font. Now, I can use the built-in fonts, or I can click on More Fonts and go searching for them. And I have literally spent hours just looking through, having fun with some of the fonts, finding stuff that's crazy in here. I love changing this from sort by popularity to sort by trending, because you're going to find some of the more recent fonts that were added on here and just experiment with different fonts. So maybe I want something that looks like this for my Viking title. So I'm going to click on this, click OK. It has not changed. Oh, I guess it has changed it. Sometimes it doesn't change it automatically. And if that's the case, you just go to your drop-down menu and it will actually show up permanently in your list of fonts from now on. So now I've changed this to that, and that looks pretty good, although there's actually another font that I think looks a lot more Viking, which is this one, Sharanji or whatever it is. I like the look of that. So I'm going to use this one instead, but it is one that you can search for, again, by going under More Fonts. Okay, and then maybe I want to change the color of this thing. So I click on this, and I can choose from any of these colors, or I can create my own color. I can even do what's called a gradient and have it kind of change colors. So I could click on this, and you notice it starts very light, and then it gets dark as it goes along. Or I can go back to solid and go with just a solid color. It's kind of whatever you want to do. I kind of like the gradient look. So I'm going to go with that right now. Vikings. All right. And yes, you can customize those a little bit more, but for right now, I'm just going to show you the basics on this. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is I want to show a Viking who doesn't have a horned helmet and one who does, and compare the two. So then I'm going to go back to my images, and this time I need a Viking warrior. And I could type in something like with or without horns on helmet, but you know what? I'm just going to look and see what pops up first. So I've got all these different guys, but you notice some of them have backgrounds, some of them don't. I really want characters who don't have backgrounds. So I'm going to click on Tools, and then I'm going to click on Color and change this to transparent. Now every picture on here is going to be without a background. And actually, believe it or not, this guy right here, the one without a horned helmet, is what most Vikings looked like back in the day. I wish he didn't have this pedestal down here. So maybe I'll keep looking for a little bit. That's pretty close to what I want. Oh, you know what? I like this one. He doesn't have a horned helmet, and that's very similar to what they actually looked like. So I'm going to click on him, and then once this brings up, you'll notice there's no background. It's a checkered background. And again, I'm going to click and drag. If you have to, you can copy and paste, and then put it on here. Then I move it around wherever I want. I can make it bigger or smaller. If I stick it on here, notice that it's in front of the lettering, but maybe I don't want that to be the case. Maybe I want the lettering to be in front of him. I always like layered looks. So maybe I want the word in front of the axe, what I can do is click on any object that's on here. Doesn't matter whatever it is, the background picture, whatever. I can right click. I guess with a Chromebook it would be a two-fingered click. And then I'm going to change the order. So I can either bring that picture to the very front of the screen, or I could send it to the very back, or I could just bring it forward one step. I'm going to bring the title to the very front. And now notice how it's in front of the figure. So you can mess with the layering quite a bit here. Okay? And then maybe I want one Viking who has a horned helmet and doesn't look right at all. So let's see. Yeah. This is not what Vikings actually look like, so I'm going to click and drag him over, bring him in. And you know what? That looks pretty good so far. I don't even have to mess with the layering because his horns fit right in between the letters there. That looks pretty good to me. So now I've got two Vikings here, and maybe what I want to do is insert a text box. So I can go insert text box, actually draw a text box out here, and maybe I want to type in, what did they actually look like? Now notice the letters that I'm writing, they're probably barely readable to you. They automatically start in black, but I have a black background. So what I can do is highlight my text and then go up here, and this is my text color. And I'm going to change my text color to maybe something light like white. The only thing is that because I used a text box instead of doing word art, I can't do anything like the gradient colors or anything like that. You get much simpler settings, which is why I prefer word art for almost anything when you put it on here. But sometimes when you're doing an explanation, a text box works. And then of course, if I want to increase the size of this, just make sure the font is highlighted, and then I can do this. And then notice these three buttons off to the side here. It gives me a few more options. Maybe I want to center the writing that I'm doing. So I'm going to change the alignment, which is the align button here, to center. Hope I'm not overwhelming you guys at all. Just experiment around, try it out. And then when I click off to the side, Vikings, what did they actually look like? This is what I've got going so far on this. If I wanted the text box to actually appear, because notice right now when I click off to the side, the box is gone. I can go up here, and the border, the outline of the box, I can change it to an actual color, like red. And now it appears as a box. Although in this case, I kind of don't like the box, so I'm going to go back, change it back to transparent. And that's how it looks so far. Okay? And then maybe I might want to write something else like, this is what they actually look like without horns, and this guy over here is completely wrong. Well, I could insert another text box. I could insert word art. I could even copy and paste something. So I could take something that's already formatted, like this one that's already got big lettering and has a white letters. I could just click this, right click and go copy, or I could use the shortcut Control V and then just click anywhere else and go paste. And now I've got the same exact box, which I can make as big or as small as I want. And maybe I write something like this. Real Vikings did not wear horns on their helmets. And then maybe I want to add a little bit of graphic to this. I'll show you two other things I can do with this, and then we'll be done for the day on this. All right. So maybe I want to insert a shape, like an arrow pointing to this guy to show that this guy's right. So I'm going to go insert, shape, and then I can choose from all kinds of different shapes, arrows, you name it. I think I'll go with an arrow on this one. So I'm going to draw an arrow like this. And like we showed you earlier with coloring on this, I can also change the color of the arrow. I can come up here, I can make it red, I can change the outline color to make it to where it's like, I don't know, I can make it a yellow outline, but that looks terrible. I might just make it red to match. There's a little yellow dot here, you notice. This helps me determine the width, so I can pull this and it will actually shorten or widen the arrow. Same thing for this yellow button here. If I move it up and down, I can change how wide that arrow is. And then the dot up here also allows me to turn this. So maybe I do something like this. So real Vikings did not wear horns on their helmets. And maybe I want to show that this guy is a bad example, so I'm going to use a no sign, the same thing that the Ghostbusters logo uses. I can also go to Insert, Shape, find the particular shape that I want, draw it on top of the guy, change the colors. And, you know, before I change the color, I'm going to change the width again. Again, yellow dot allows me to change the width bigger or smaller. Now that I've made that color, maybe I want to make this one a different one. Oh, yuck. So this looks like a pretty good graphic to me. I've got a really good title that I created by adding word art. I've got a background that looks pretty cool on there. Hopefully you see what I mean about stuff that has dark backgrounds and light colored words just really stands out. I've got a couple of images on here. I've got some shapes that point things out. And then I've got a few text boxes on here to be able to clarify what I'm looking at. So if a teacher were to ask you to create a poster, you could do that pretty quickly. This took somewhere, I think I'm somewhere around the 17 or 18-minute mark right now with this video. You can see I can create something fairly quickly that looks really good, didn't have to draw it by hand. That is how you create with a Google Drawing. So if you have any questions about that, you can ask me, but what I would like you to do now is for the rest of the time today, if I haven't already given you these directions elsewhere, what I would really like you to do is experiment with this a little bit. Pull up a blank Google Drawing page. So just open up a brand new one, drawings.google.com, and then from there, try resizing the page. Try actually making a design on here. You could do it for anything you like. Just have some fun. Put a background on there. Put a couple of pictures on there. Put a title on there using word art. Play around with the coloring effects on there. If you want to mess around with any of the other features and buttons that are more advanced on this that I haven't explained yet, go for it. Enjoy. But spend a good 10, 15 minutes, whatever time you need here to just experiment and play around, because very soon in the next couple of weeks we're going to be using this to design some pretty significant projects, and you're going to want a really good understanding of how this works. So again, this is Google Drawings, and this is how you can do some graphic design for my class and other classes on whatever device you're using. Hope that was easy to understand. Have a great day.